Hey guys, this is Russ Money, and today we're going to convert your custom story into a full conversion mod. So let's begin. Today I'll be using Notepad++, and that's about it. So let's go ahead and open up our custom story. I went ahead and made a copy of La Casa, the custom story, and we're going to turn that into a full conversion today. So the first thing we're going to need to do is create subdirectories for all our directories here of all the entities that we've created for our custom story. To do so, we're going to open up, let's go start with graphics, and we're going to add a new folder. We're going to name this the same name as our custom story, no spaces. So we're going to name it La Casa inside our graphics folder. And we're going to copy over the general, which general holds all our pictures for loading stills and any other splashes that bring up when the game starts. For Lang, we're going to go ahead and go into English, which is all our voices. Now we want all La Casa voices in the La Casa folder. Copy those over. Now as you see, what I'm doing here is when the person downloads La Casa, the full conversion, and they extract it here into the Amnesia Dark Descent root folder, it will go into the correct places. As you can see here, there is one called graphics. And so when the person extracts it, it'll go into graphics, and here it'll make its own folder called La Casa. Inside La Casa, it'll have the different pictures and loading stills that'll be called when they are needed. So going back into our copy of La Casa. Next is maps. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing. You could name this whatever you like. It could be the name of your custom story. But today we're just going to use La Casa. I'll copy all those into there. Go back. Same with music. Copy all those. Of course, sound. And textures. Now, we have all our subdirectories created for all our other entities, but not our English file or the configuration file. We are actually going to have to create a new folder and name it config. And this is where we will move our English, extra English lang into it. We are not making a custom story anymore, so we do not need the custom story settings configuration anymore. In this, we're going to go ahead, and if you were to go back, actually, to the Amnesia Dark Descent and look at the config folder, as you can see, it has all the configurations here. And then it has Lang main and Lang ptest. Ptest was, of course, the Justine expansion, and Lang main is the main story of Amnesia. So we're actually going to, if you're looking into these, you can see there's the English Lang, the French Lang, Italian, German, etc. Same thing, well, Justine only has the English Lang. So we're going to go ahead and emulate the same thing, going back to our copy of La Casa. In the config, we're going to make a new folder, and we're going to name this La Casa _ Lang. And then we are also going to rename our extra English Lang, our extra Italian, German, whatever language you have, to simply English.lang. And copy that into our La Casa _ Lang folder. Now, the only thing we're really missing now will be in the config, you will need to copy the main initiate config file, which is main _ init.config. Go ahead and copy that. There are also default main settings and all this, the user keys, which you could add and change to your own. So back to our copy of La Casa. We're going to go ahead and paste it inside config. And now what we need to do is open it, or we're going to rename this to La Casa _ main initiate or main initialize config. Now let's go ahead and open this and edit it. Now there is all sorts of things here that a lot of it you don't need to touch whatsoever. First thing we do need to touch though is right here, the the game language folder. That is our .lang file that it will read. The base language folder is what the Amnesia reads to get the information of everything. As if you were to drink your sanity potion, or even just hover over it, it will tell you what a sanity potion is. It's the very basics of what we need. So if we're going to rename this from config lang main, it's going to change when we put it in the config. It'll be La Casa lang. So we're going to rename that. Okay. And the second thing we need to change, definitely, is the start map folder and the position where the player will start. I'm going to name these all relative to La Casa, as the first map you start on La Casa is called intro.map. The main folder, the folder for the maps, is not going to be maps slash main, as we have already made. It'll be maps La Casa. So change that in the main to La Casa. And then the position where you start in intro.map is, funny enough, called intro. Okay, go ahead and save that. Now then, let's see here. What else do we need to change? Looks like that's about it. We are on our way to creating a custom or a full conversion. So now that we have everything completed here, what we're going to need to do is create a .bat file. .bat files are executables, or somewhat executables, but not exactly. Open up our new text here. Alright, to make the bat file, you'll need to type in or create a extension, a extra launch option for Amnesia exe. So it's going to be amnesia.exe. And then where is it going to find this extra configuration? It's going to be config / La Casa _ main initiation, or when it's initiating, config. And then we're going to save as. I'm going to go ahead and name this La Casa .bat. And that should change the file extension to lacasa.bat instead of the txt, which we can get rid of. So essentially we now have everything we need to run our full conversion. So I'm going to copy all the contents of the La Casa custom story now that we changed it. I am missing a big step here. I'm sorry. We need to change from our English lang file, because if you were to open your English lang file, as you can see, it comes up with custom story main. It still has the category of custom story in the description of the custom story. We need to go ahead and remove this category, as it is no longer a custom story. If you were to go into Amnesia, the lang main of Amnesia, and check that out, you can see that there is no more custom story. Of course, it's not a custom story, but they have the directory path, the fonts, and the lang is English. We're going to go ahead and copy those, and we're going to put it into our new english.lang file and save it. Alright, now that that's done, I think we're ready to go ahead and move all our conversion over into the Amnesia main file. So I'm going to copy all this, and I'm going to simply paste it into the root of Amnesia the Dark Descent, which can differ depending if you have the direct download version versus the Steam version. I'm using the Steam version, so it'll be Steam apps common / and then Amnesia the Dark Descent. More or less the story, or I mean the folder right before your custom stories. So we're going to paste that in there. And it's going to ask you that there is already a folder named config, which we're just going to add the existing files, so yes to all. Alright, as you can see, it added all the files to the correct places, or it should be. We're going to go ahead and run our lacasa.bat. And we're going to see if it launches La Casa rather than Amnesia, because it should be reading that the amnesia.exe config / La Casa main initiation config instead of the regular amnesia.exe, which will run its regular initiation. Oh, wow, the resolution's all screwed up. That's okay. So we're going to start new game instead of going into a custom story, and we're going to see if it's load intro.map and see where it puts me. And look at there. There it goes. And that is the essentials of what you need to run a full conversion mod, or at least to get set up with one. And everything is working just fine.